There is an old Chinese saying that goes, "Wealth does not last beyond 3 generations." Why? Because it's hard to make money, isn't it? You need both an entrepreneurial spirit and an entrepreneurial talent. Having just the spirit is not enough. If you want to become rich, the entrepreneurial spirit isn't a guarantee. Take me, for example. After graduating from university, I worked in a research institute and a state-owned enterprise before leaving for running a private enterprise. I didn't have a background in government, but many people who left government service and entered the field of business did not succeed. Even some of my colleagues who held high positions were not successful. Some of them were already division-level cadres, and one's father was even a vice-state-level cadre. However, they did not do well after leaving government service. Why? As I said earlier, it's because they lacked the entrepreneurial spirit and talent to make it work. Maybe your grandfather had both the entrepreneurial spirit and talent and made a fortune. What about your father? Perhaps he only had one of them. He lacked entrepreneurial spirit, but had some entrepreneurial talent. He could still manage to keep the business going. Now, in your generation, perhaps you have neither the entrepreneurial spirit nor the talent. What does this make me think of? This country needs to protect the entrepreneurial spirit because businesses are the executive department for creating national wealth. And where does national wealth come from? It comes from businesses. This reminds me of something. I am in my 60s, and I had been through the difficult and poor years when we couldn't get enough food to eat. You know, it's a very uncomfortable feeling when you can't eat enough. Our clothes were so worn out that we have to keep adding patches to cover up the holes, weren't they? It didn't matter if there were many patches on our clothes as long as we didn't feel cold. But when you couldn't eat enough food, it's a very terrible feeling, and I can deeply relate to that. It was the time when I was growing up and studying. Feeling hungry at night made me worried. When I was on bed at night, I just wanted to fall asleep quickly because it's very uncomfortable when stomach was churning due to hunger. Actually, I hadn't experienced the most difficult times yet. The period from 1959 to 1961 was called the 3 years of natural disasters, but as Liu Shaoqi said, it was 30% natural disaster and 70% man-made calamities. People even ate Guanyin soil in my hometown. What is Guanyin soil? Even until now, I still don't know the scientific name for it. Is it called porcelain soil? It was very slippery, but it had no nutritional value. It was no good except filling the stomach. After one ate it, it couldn't be excreted, and some people died from being bloated, including some of my relatives. Eating tree bark was also a common practice during that period. As it stands now, I am from a place known for its abundant fish and rice. My hometown is located by Dongting Lake on the bank of the Yangtze River, which is supposed to be a land of plenty. In theory, people could not starve to death even if they ate pigweed. If you go to our place and take a look now, you'll see water teeming with duckweed and fish. You could pick anything at random and eat. However, during those years, everything was eaten up. Currently, you can see green mountains and clear waters. It'll be difficult to go up the mountains because of the thick bushes. However, during our time, the mountains were bare because the grass was cut down for firewood. I used to do this when I was young. It's impossible to enter small bamboo groves while large bamboos, such as Philostachys pubescens, could be used to make baskets and other things. However, at that time, bamboos were all cut down. What if there was no firewood to burn? The roots of the bamboo could be dug up. When I was a child, I used to hold the hoe, the round basket and flat pole and go up the mountain to dig the bamboo roots to bring back home as firewood. The year before I entered college, my father passed away, and I was the one who chose his burial site. I was only 16 years old at the time. The mountain where he was buried was also a bare mountain. Just like I mentioned earlier, any bit of grass there had been cut down and burned by others. Today, you can't even go up that mountain. Why? It's totally blocked by the bushes and bamboo groves. There is no one who would like to cut them down, even if being asked to do so. So I think, regardless of how much we strive for fairness, even if we distribute resources equitably, it becomes meaningless if there is nothing to distribute. The priority should be to increase the overall resources available, and only then can we discuss fair distribution. Without anything to distribute, there would be no point discussing fairness, and in the end, you still get nothing. Therefore, it is crucial to preserve and promote the entrepreneurship spirit to ensure the nation has resources to allocate. The first step is to make the country prosperous, as only in this way can ordinary people get rich and lead a good life.
Join Save Human Action Organization and devote ourselves to the mighty torrent of saving human beings.